And is Justine Greening, the Education Secretary, going to lose her job?
I think she is. They haven't got a good relationship anyway, particularly Theresa May and Justine Greening. Theresa May is a big supporter of grammar schools. Justine Greening is not. But education privately, the Tory polls show that they were damaged at the election, last election, by the perception that funding for schools wasn't right. Now, Prime Minister pulls the strings, she's the boss, but Secretary of State for Education is the fall guy here. I don't think she's particularly effective, and I think they'll want someone in there who can make a more radical case.
But replacing one load of people you've never heard of with another load of people you've never heard of isn't going to solve the problem.
It doesn't matter if you've heard of them, it matters if they can do the job better.
Well, it's the policies. That's what matters. And if Justine Greening, as Education Secretary, wasn't given the money for schools, so you could see that your local school was going to be cut and you're getting letters saying teachers might be sacked, can you now give us money to buy things like pens, papers, books? If somebody else comes in and they're in the same situation, it's not going to improve it. You need a change of policy, really, in direction, not just a new salesman or woman.
What's going to happen with Jeremy Hunt?
Well,
it would seem to me completely perverse to be promoting the guy in charge of NHS when we're in the middle of what many are calling the biggest NHS crisis we've ever seen.
It's not his fault about the huge rise in flu and winter colds. Kevin, it's not.
But that's not why there's a winter crisis. There's a winter crisis because he hasn't got the money.
Did you see the Shadow Health Secretary on the Andrew Marr show yesterday asked 8 times, was the Labour Party responsible for the problems of the NHS in Wales? He refused to answer. They are responsible. They've got huge problems with the NHS in Wales too.
Let's be clear. Kevin, let's be perfectly honest here. You and I worked at the Mirror for years together, right, through the Blair years. And every year we did NHS in crisis, right? So let's not pretend this is a Tory problem.
But this is the biggest funding squeeze on the NHS for years.
Historically, it's never been on starvation rations like this. Spending per head is going to go down. It's not all just flu. At the end of the Labour years, the winter crises largely disappeared because so much money was put in, so many more nurses, doctors employed. Now, look, the NHS performs miracles every day, treating more people.
That is true.
But at the same time, waiting lists are going up. We saw tens of thousands of people are stuck in ambulances. Operations are being cancelled.
Here's the problem with the NHS, right? I've listened to consecutive governments now for decades talking about this, and they all say the same stuff. We need more investment, right? We need more stuff. Of course we do, right? That's obvious. The problem is you've got a 70-year-old institution which is creaking at the seams because we are a much bigger population that is rising all the time, and the population is living much longer. So the average age now of people in this country is far higher than it ever used to be. This is the problem. And when you cut social care, as we have done, that means these people have to stay in hospital longer than they should. And really, that is the problem. So the rest of it, I think, the rest of it is panic.
Hang on, before he blames the Tories, the other problem is his lot also gave doctors a huge pay rise, his lot, and said you don't have to work at weekends. So now the NHS absorbs all the weekend stuff, whereas before people could go to out-of-hours doctor surgeries.
You've got them to do more during the week.